Heyo, welcome back to Three Borrachos Show. I'm your host, Aaron, my faithful compadres today.
Hey, y'all, it's your buddy Mike.
Escape, what's up?
Hey, Michelle from Coastal Fermentory is joining us today. Michelle, welcome. Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, hello, thank you.
She is a certified Cicerone. I will let her explain what that is later on in the show. We're going to be doing some beer shares today. She's going to help educate us, bring some smartness to the show. We've been looking forward to this for a while now. We've thought about this since we started. We're like, how to make this show smarter? Because here we're all just kind of like rating our beers on.
Bring people in. That's the only way that's going to happen with us.
Exactly. So glad you're joining us today. We got a lot to do. Mike, what's in your glass? What are you sipping on?
So, if you guys been following, I'm a big fan of Treehouse, right? So it's called It's Your Lucky Day Double IPA. It's a 4.28 rating globally, but just a really good double IPA, Galaxy and Nelson hops, American IPA.
I'm drinking a banger out of Parish. Aaron's shaking his head because I didn't pay attention to the beer when I grabbed it out of the fridge. It's a glutton for punishment. So triple IPA, Holy Ghost, super smooth, lots of hoppiness. I think it was 10.2 or 11. Sorry, I was trying to play it down, but Aaron doesn't let me get away with that stuff. But very good beer out of Parish. If you can find it, grab it.
Tripping on triples.
Yeah.
Michelle, what you got over there?
I've got Hop Glide from Coastal Fermentory from where I work, my favorite local brewery. It's a 5% hazy IPA. Coastal Fermentory is known for its hazies.
Oh, yeah.
And this is definitely by far the lightest of the many hazies that we have on tap. So you can see right there, it's still pretty cloudy and pretty hazy.
Still looks good.
Yeah. And
Looks delicious.
yeah, and it is. It's quite wonderful. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I brought some Fidens. So we got Margaret Maggie. It is a 8.1% double IPA brewed with Citra and Cashmere hops. So a little bit different, but still gotta love some Fidens, right? So, all right, real quick, here is a look at the banger board. All right, so let's get started. Michelle, we have some questions for you. We're going to ask you some stuff, and then we're going to crack the brews afterwards. So one of the reasons why we brought you on the show is we wanted someone to help us find the notes and find the flavor profiles that are in these beers that oftentimes I have trouble, like finding. When I drink it, and I'm like, oh, this is great, 4.5, right? Thumbs up, I'm good. So, before we crack into our first one, can you kind of walk us through the sensory training that you've kind of used to pick out these notes? How do you, as a beer taster, find that stuff? Can you walk us through kind of that?
Sure. So there's 5 qualities of a beer that you want to evaluate. You want to evaluate the appearance, the aroma, the mouthfeel, the taste, and the finish. Okay, and by doing that, there's a 4 or 5 step process that one goes through. So first part of it, you always see wine people, right, swirling their wine. Mm-hmm. So you want to do the same thing with your beer because that helps to bring out the aroma in the beer. It opens it up. You always want to drink a beer out of a glass as well, right? You want to make sure the glass is clean. That's why you always see beer tenders, cleaning your glass when you go to the brewery to make sure it's clean. There's no residual soap or, cleanser in there, that kind of thing. And then it also helps to kind of bring it to kind of room temperature. So it helps to bring up the head on the beer as well, because that is also part of the tasting, right? So drinking your beer is different than tasting your beer. So you want to have a nice pour in your glass, and you want to swirl your beer, and then so there's 5 different ways to take in the aroma of your beer, right? So you just kind of have it here at the tabletop, mm-hmm. right? So you just kind of see, kind of swirl it and see, do you get anything from that when you do that? When it's just kind of far away from your nose, and then the next one. We call it a drive-by, right? You just kind of do a quick drive-by of your nose as you're inhaling, like a quick maybe 2 to 3 second inhale.
Mhm.
So that's the second part of taking in the aroma. So then, you just swirl it again, and then you just kind of bring it up to your nose, and you just take like a short, maybe 2 to 3 second, sniff. And I like to kind of keep my mouth open a little bit because it helps to open up your taste buds a little bit.
Mhm.
And so this is called
So much better.
Is what?
It's so much better when you do that.
Right?
I've never done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is all called like orthonasal.
Yeah.
When you're kind of taking in the aroma of your beer like this. And then you want to, kind of swirl your beer again a little bit, and then just do like a 3 to 5 second, sniff or inhale of your beer.
I just want to drink it.
I know, right? Right. There's
That's
a lot.
our
It's a
problem.
process. This is a process, right? This is different from drinking your beer. We're
Yeah, yeah.
tasting it,
Right,
right?
Mm.
So like when you do that, like what do you get off the aroma? Do you get? There's so many different ways to describe a beer, because you got the malt flavors going on in there, and you have the hop aroma and flavors and the bitterness. And so everyone's palates are so different, right? So we're all going to get something different.
Right.
So then you do a covered sniff. So you do like a swirl, you cover it, and then you take it in. Okay. And so then you
So it kind
see
of traps the
it traps the aromas in there, right? And just kind of swirl it around, and then and then again, just try to keep your mouth open just a little bit when you do it, because it really helps to bring in the aroma. Okay. So then now you get to drink it. Okay.
Sweet.
But so when you drink it, you just want to let it just sort of settle on your tongue a little bit and just see what you're tasting. Just try to think about what you're tasting. And then sort of as you swallow it, it's called retronasal sniffing, I guess, if you will. So whatever's in the very back of your throat, like it kind of comes up into your nasal cavity as well. So as you're tasting it, you're still sort of smelling it while it's going down your throat.
Okay.
Right. And you want to think about the mouthfeel. Is it smooth? Is it silky? Is it burning your tongue, or whatever, whatever it feels in your tongue. And then just sort of like, how does it finish? Like what flavors do you get as it finishes as well? So it's a lot to think about, right?
It's a process. Yeah.
It is,
Exactly
it's a
what you said. It's
process.
like, man, this is a lot to it.
Right. So so it's different from just, when we drink our beer, we drink it, we like it, we enjoy it. But it's really fun to just break it down, right? Like, sometimes, I might get something that's peachy, and you might get something that's, completely different. Maybe you get something more citrusy than that. And so
Stone fruit.
Right, you get some good stone fruit or some good citrus. And so everybody's palate is so very different, but it's fun to talk about it and just kind of see what you're getting. But then that also creates what's called the halo effect. So just because you think I know a little bit more about tasting beer than you do, so if I say I get peach, you get, oh yeah, I'm gonna get some peach.
Yep.
But it's more important for you to not really go off of what other people are saying. Like just really go with what's in your palate.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
struggle with that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So like when you're going through this process, is it important to have we read a lot of beer reviews, obviously, through Untapped, and obviously there's a lot of smart guys that give these real in-depth, thorough reviews on Untapped, and there's other guys like great beer. But like some guys are like, stone fruit, peppery,
They talk about mouthfeel.
mangoes, mouthfeel, and to me, what I think about when I think about their reviews is sometimes I'm like, dude, like stone fruit, for example. I don't even know what that tastes like. You know what I mean? I when I read it the first time, I didn't know what it tastes like. And then it was like, oh, well, it's peaches and plums and all that other stuff, nectarines, whatever. But I think so do you also have to have kind of a depth in your
Repertoire?
Like taste, your medicine cabinet full of tastes that you've tasted a bunch of different things and going to be able to pull that out of a beer. Is that
so there's all kinds of things that that you learn about and to help you with. There's all these fun fun charts.
Oh, okay.
To give you the different flavors in beers, and even this book by beer tasting book by Randy Mosher is recommended for people who really want to taste their beer. And in here, there's different different beer aroma spiral.
Okay.
And so it just kind of helps you just sort of pinpoint it.
Right,
Maybe
right,
just
right.
kind of drill it down a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah, okay, I'm tasting stone fruit, but what is it? Plum? Is it
Right.
peach?
Right.
And so, you can just really get into it. And some of these people who are doing that are just, they're really into it and they're really focused on that. And it takes a lot of practice, right? And just kind of really focusing on it.
I need to get that flavor map.
Yes.
Yeah, this is
we would
super
like
cool.
those.
Yeah, this thing is great.
It's gonna help.
Yeah, this
All right.
is a lot of fun. Yeah.
Why don't we try our first one?
Okay.
All right. So we got here from Coastal Fermentory. It is A Man's Gotta Eat. If you're familiar with Trailer Park
It looks
Boys?
like premier,
Trailer Park Boys,
It
yeah.
looks like premier physical fitness right there.
I know, right?
Yeah. This is a Kolsch style ale. It's a 5.3 alcohol. And yeah, we're going to try this one. So we have not had any Kolsches. I don't remember the last time I had a Kolsch. It was probably in October for Oktoberfest.
I don't think I've had a Kolsch in the last year.
Yeah. I think this is a great one to start with because we are not super familiar with what's in it yet.
But Kolsch is a German ale,
Yeah.
right? They originated in the area of Cologne in Germany, right? And so these are very predominant over there, and it's a nice kind of springy, kind of summery beer. Yeah, nice and light. So you want to look at the appearance, right?
Kind of see-through, but not really.
Right? Like, what's the color look like to you?
This is more golden.
Golden color. Yeah, there's a whole standard reference method of this whole color wheel that is used to describe the different colors of beer.
Okay.
Yeah. Golden is a good descriptor, right?
So normally we would just be like, "Cheers, y'all," and slam it down.
Right.
But I feel like there's all kinds of different steps that are now
right.
brought into this.
So you're just gonna kind of swirl it and just kind of see what kind of aroma that you get from being at the tabletop. Do you get
much.
anything? It's
pretty light.
Yeah,
It's a very light beer. Yeah. So just you do the drive by, right? Just kind of you get a little more aroma there. What do you get on that?
A lot of malt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, I pull the sourness. Like, I don't know if it's because of the previous beers. Like, I can smell, what I smell is, like, it makes my mouth water because I know it's getting ready to be like a sourish tart type flavor.
Okay. And one thing I did forget to mention is it's important to cleanse your palate.
Okay.
Before, yes, we forgot that. Before trying your beer. So water is a good palate cleanser, right? And then also just very basic generic crackers, right? Yeah, so we forgot to do that. So everybody cleanse your palate.
Snacks.
Yeah, some snacks. It's not great, but so it's basic on purpose, right?
Yeah.
There's
Mhm.
just a really
Very plain.
very basic cracker.
I feel like I'm in church again.
Right? There's like a communion wafer.
Yeah.
That's on purpose. Right?
Okay.
So cleanse your palate.
It's good.
Make sure you don't leave any floaties in your beer now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then swirl around a little bit and then just do your short sniff. Remember, just kind of keep your mouth open a little bit. And then you do your long. What are you getting? What are you getting off the aroma there?
So, I mean, when I smell this, it tastes like, it smells like a Pilsner, and I'm just probably not educated enough to be able to smell a difference, right? And so, like, the first thing in my mind is like, what's the difference between this and a Bud Light? You know what I mean? Because like when you smell it, it kind of tastes like you're just.
That's crazy. Because to me, when I smell it, like, and I take that deep breath, like when I was doing drive-bys, I can get a little bit, but now that I've taken a deep breath of it, I don't want to say it's like, it has the kind of, it's like a very, very watered down, extremely watered down, like apple cider vinegar type aroma to me.
Yeah,
And I don't know if that's just my nose and palate, but it like it's not vinegar and it's not
It
apple
shouldn't
cider
taste like vinegar or smell like vinegar.
Right, but that's what like for me it has
That's what
that sourness to it. It's
Okay.
crazy.
Like a sourdough
No,
type.
I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of, but it might be just my basic palate, not knowing what I'm smelling.
I get where you're coming from. I can
Okay.
kind of get that too, but it's not. Yeah, it's hard to nail down.
It is. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it just takes practice. So we're just having some fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, so yeah, swirl and just kind of take the long sniff. You should get maybe more of the breadiness or doughiness in there. I don't know if you're getting any of that.
Like I just think of malt.
It's crazy now. I smell
I
like
can't find the words to say it though.
Right. So the malty, like it's, bready, doughy, because you hit on the sourdough. So that's, that's going down the right, the right path for using those descriptors for Kolsch, right?
Well done, Aaron.
Yeah. Nice job. Right.
Such a
I get a
nerd.
gold
Show
star.
off.
Employee of the month.
Star,
Employee of the
alright.
month, my
Employee of the
ass.
month right here.
And now you want to cover it and swirl, right? And then just take a nice long inhale.
It's
That
crazy.
one hit harder,
That cover swirl.
Yeah.
that-
Totally different.
You get a
Boom.
much bigger, bold kind of nose to that. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, especially for something this light.
Yeah.
Right. So it might be a little bit different as we progress through the different styles, but yeah, especially for this. And a lot of times too, you get a lot of aromas from the head of the beer.
Mhm.
That's why you want a nice one on there. And so for this kind of beer, it's so highly carbonated, and there's just not a lot of head on this style.
Gotcha.
It
Yep.
just,
Okay.
it's just not true to the style. Okay, so now you get to taste it, right? You get to drink it.
My
But
favorite
let
part.
it, right? Like let it go, let it sit on your tongue, right? And then remember to just sort of breathe out as you're swallowing, because that's that retronasal. And so you should get a completely different.
That's wild, dude. That is a totally different. Like what I thought I was tasting is
Right,
not what I like. I don't know what I was thinking.
So I'll be honest. Every time I see an Kolsch, I'm like, meh. But it really changes your mind when you drink it the right way.
Or when you taste it,
Right,
you're
right.
tasting it.
Sorry,
Yeah,
taste it. Right.
That's a difference. Yeah.
yeah.
What do you get in there?
So this is
Really?
crazy because what I was smelling earlier is not at all what I'm tasting.
Okay.
So I don't know if like I had some determined
It can be
mind
different,
made
I
up,
think,
like you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
oh, this Kolsch is going to be this way, and
Mhm.
it wasn't what I was thinking of it being. But yeah, I definitely like a Pilsner type style, like lighter,
Cider,
yeah.
definitely lighter.
Yeah.
But I like it. It's really good now that I've let it savor, like it savored it.
Yes, yes. When you just sort of take the time to just let it sit on your palate, right? Just let it sit on your tongue and let it do its thing for a minute. And then again with that breathing out, that retronasal situation, as you're swallowing it, it
Right.
really brings out the flavors and the aromas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's wild.
It is.
I didn't get
It
a
is.
whole lot of flavor when I just let it sit there because I wasn't like really breathing.
Right.
Okay.
It just kind of like felt like I could feel it. Like it
Okay.
felt like that.
And so what did
crisp,
it feel like?
like
Crisp?
sharp. Yeah, it kind of like it burned a little like on the tongue at first.
Okay. Yeah.
But as soon as I like went to go swallow and started breathing again, then I got it.
Then you get some more flavors
Yeah.
in there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be a tough one because we rarely rate light beers.
Yeah.
But on a scale of 1 to 5, right? Out of all the lightish beers that you've had, I'll be honest. I was expecting a little bit more of that German flavor than that kind of pilsnery
Mhm.
like light stuff that I got out of it. I'll probably give it 3.75 for me. There you go.
I'm a 4. So I think it's good, but maybe not my profile. But after learning about the profile of the beer, then I think it's pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, after like really learning about like what it like the different characteristics and like understanding how to like read my palate a little bit, just like training wheels type situation. I think I'm at like, I think I'll go 4 as well. I'll borderline 4.25, 4, but I think I'm right there at a 4.
Yeah. I think I give it a solid 4. It's a really solid Kolsch. It's easy to drink. It's true to style. I really enjoy it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Gotta drink more.
Yeah. Drink more
It's been-
lagers.
It's been a while.
Well, no, this is an ale, but yeah, drink
Yeah.
more light beers. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of hit on a little bit about being a Cicerone,
Mhm.
right? And so I guess my question is kind of what led you down that path, and what hoops did you have to gone through? Like, how did you get to being, a certified Cicerone?
Okay. So I'll clarify. So I'm a level 1 certified, Cicerone certified beer server. So there's 4 levels, right? So there's the level 1. Level 2 is an advanced, and then you get all the way up to master Cicerone. Okay. So how I got here was just through my love of beer. I'm a total beer nerd. I've been drinking craft beer since the early 90s. Been to breweries in all 50 states and 21 countries.
Cheers to that. Yeah.
Life goals right there.
Right? Yeah. Been to, my husband keeps a great list of breweries. I've been to 800 and some breweries. Yeah. Even our dogs have a list of breweries they've been to.
That's sick.
Yeah. And so one of my dogs is named Dunkelbach, my chocolate lab. It's Dunkelbach.
Love it.
And so I've been working in the beer industry for the past 8 years. And so I just really wanted to learn more and more about beer, learning how to taste the beer and understanding the proper ways to serve the beer too, because that's extremely important is proper serving and storage of the beer. There's lots of off flavors that can happen in beers. Beer shouldn't taste like wet paper, or cardboard, or butter, or taste like corn. And so all the things can go wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
During the brewing process, during the storage process, and even the serving process. And so I just felt like I would be a better beer tender, and just really show that I'm educated, because lots of people don't think that girls know stuff about beer, right? I mean, I had some guy really challenge me last night at work about, people ask me like, what's lady beer or what's girl beer? It's not a thing.
Yeah.
And so I love it when I can just stand my ground and really go toe to toe with somebody. Well, I love to educate people about beer, and that's part of my love. And so I love to help people find a beer that they're gonna really love when they come into Coastal. And so, being more educated and having this, my level 1 certification really helps me to do that, and it just feels it gives me a little more credibility. And so I'm kind of working towards the next level, but it takes time and practice, which, it's not a bad thing to practice, right? It's not a bad thing to play around with. And so I'm a member of the Pink Boots Society, and so they offer scholarships to members. And so I was the recipient of a scholarship to receive all the educational materials, and to get my level 1 certification. Pink Boots Society paid for it.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. And we'll talk about more about Pink Boots in a minute. But yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to crack into this next beer here, and it's called Fruit Basket Upset. So it's a fruit medley Gose. Goza.
Uh-huh.
Damn it, man!
Okay.
You
So
were
close.
You were practicing. You even had the
Goza.
army spelling
Goza.
out.
And so, like, normally, you see that, like, I would have called that a ghost all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay. So,
Do you need
excited
to
for this
roll it?
one. No,
Probably don't. But
because
you never
it's-
know.
it is
Man.
not.
I shouldn't have brought it.
It is
up.
not a
Just hope.
smoothie.
It is not a smoothie. It is a true to style Goza.
Goza.
Yeah, Goza is a German
Sounds
wheat beer.
almost. It sounds almost Japanese. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
It
what
does
is that?
kinda,
What is
doesn't
Is
it?
it German?
It's a German wheat beer. Yep. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
style, and it comes from Leipzig, Germany,
Man, that thing looks
from
like
that area of
apricot-ish.
Germany.
It does. Well, that's
Mango-ish.
So, in my uneducated mind, like, to me, I
There you
think
go. Yeah. Wait, cleanse your palate first, right?
Yeah.
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 Have a cracker, have a sip of water.
Have a piece of body of the Christ.
Yeah.
Do your 3 Hail Marys. Throw some water over your shoulder.
Yeah. Those of us recovering
Mike?
Catholics. Yeah.
yes.
Mr. Notre Dame.
All right. What's our first steps?
So, you do the
Uh-huh.
table swirl.
Mm. And what kind of aromas do you get just from down there?
Smells sour.
Not much
Okay.
from here.
You just kind of smell.
I think
just...
my nose is broken at this level.
Okay. All right, then you're going to swirl and do the drive-by, yeah?
There it is.
Mhm. There you go.
Yeah.
So I did it with my mouth closed, nothing.
Yep.
It's completely different.
Isn't it? It makes
God.
a difference. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
So that's crazy because you can already get. I mean, I got it. You can smell the sour, but you start to get fruit.
Yeah.
You know.
That's where
some
the fruit comes
orange.
in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get orange. Okay. All right, so then you swirl it again, and then you just do like a 2 to 3 second short sniff. Again with your mouth just a little open.
I definitely
There it
get
is.
mango,
Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely orange or
passion fruit, something like that.
So
Okay.
cheating and looking at the can, we know that there's tangerines. Okay.
yeah,
Mm, that's probably
So yeah.
different
so,
kind of orange.
Yes,
but
yeah.
it's-
You
it's
said orange,
more-
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't explain it, but yeah.
It's even when you're eating an orange versus a tangerine, it's really hard to tell the difference. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that's a very advanced palate,
Right.
right? And then take your long sniff, right?
Okay. Now I get some mango.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it's weird because it's almost like the sweetness of the mango. I felt like it's I don't know.
Oh,
It's hard
yeah.
to explain. Like it's
No, it's ripe mango.
Yeah.
It's like when you cut into like a mushy mango and it tastes super deliciously good, whatever, versus like the unripe when you have to slice it, whatever. It's definitely I think ripe mango.
Right, because again, it opens it up, it aerates it, and then
Did that wrong.
It's crazy.
Pulled my hand too quick. And I was,
Well, you're swirling clockwise. You never swirl clockwise.
some people think you should do a counterclockwise. Yeah, it's a very
Really?
interesting. No, seriously,
I'm literally just
that's a
kidding.
thing.
I'm
It
going
is a
counter.
thing. It's a thing.
I'm going counter. Yeah.
It's a thing. Some people
Oh.
think because then it sort of retrains your brain,
It's science.
right, to
Yeah.
just kind
I
of
was
think-
swirling clockwise.
think
also.
differently. Yeah. So I don't know. Some people think it's a thing. In
Well, let's
the
see.
Mosher book,
let's do an educated.
he says counterclockwise, right? Yeah.
Smells the same.
Okay. All right.
agree.
So then you take a sip.
That's really good.
Dude.
I have a due appreciation.
Yeah. That's wild.
It changes things. So what do you taste?
I definitely taste a lot of mango, passion fruit type. I've never had I don't think I've really had other than mango and passion fruit type drinks, right?
Okay.
So to me, that I taste a lot of mango.
For me, it's all tangerine. Like for me, it's like that almost. It's not bitter, but it's like that sour, bitter tangerine. It
Okay.
might not be ripe enough, but that sour hit as soon as I exhaled. It was like that. I felt the sour.
Okay.
I love that sour hit. But I think there's a good. I think it is bigger orange tangerine type flavor, but there's absolutely mango in there.
Until you said tangerine, I would have never guessed. Because I know what you mean. Tangerine and orange do have this small difference,
It's subtle, yeah.
yeah. I would never be able to pick. You put one in front of me and the other and blindfold
Right,
me
yeah.
and say which one you eating. I would have no freaking clue.
Right. It's
Um,
difficult.
Right.
It's difficult. So
How about this? 8%.
What?
it
Yeah.
sits at 8%.
8%.
No way.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Never in a million years would have guessed
I
that.
would've
I've
guessed
never
that.
seen that. No.
4 or 5. Yeah.
So, okay.
And so the fruits that this is brewed with, so we have fruit basket upset on a regular basis, but the fruits in it change. So this is more for spring and summer. So it is tangerine, it's guava, and passion fruit. Guava. Yeah.
But is that another tricky fruit, between mango and guava, the differences?
I think when I first drank this, I got peach.
Okay.
I
could
really
see
thought
that.
it was peach. But then as I really taste it, right? When I drank it, it tasted peachy to me. But when I really sit down and I taste it, then I really can have the ability to differentiate the fruits. But to me, guava and mango are very, very similar.
Okay.
Right?
Close, yeah.
Yeah, they're very close. So
It's a little bit more sour. At first, I wanted to call it grapefruit because I got that sour, but it didn't really taste like grapefruit. But I think now that you said guava, I was like, okay, I think that makes a little bit
We're
more
gonna have
sense.
to get these fruits.
Right.
And try
Right.
them.
And try them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
to really
I
understand.
don't know if I've ever had a guava.
No,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
but I know like
Yeah.
guava flavored things that are out there, right? Like whether it's like flavored
Fruit's different,
water,
yeah.
carbonated water,
Right.
like
the
things
fruit's
don't
It's
different.
out there, but have you
whatever,
really
you know,
had?
But like, yeah, like the fake flavor or the real thing. I have never had the real thing.
Yeah,
at
and those are
all.
very different, right? I mean,
Right.
watermelon candy versus watermelon, it's totally
Not
different.
even,
Yeah.
not even the
Yeah.
same ballpark, right?
No. And one of the differentiating factors with the Goza versus a sour, because this is very tart, it's very sour, but with the Goza, you're going to get more of that
Saltiness, yeah,
the saltiness
Yeah.
in it.
But
But
yeah.
it complements the fruits in here as well.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
I don't even get the salt until like the back end.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
After
So-
the sour, yeah.
Yeah.
after.
So
But if
Yeah,
you-
the salty sour should be at the
Okay.
It ought to be, not should be. It ought to be at the end of your palate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like you said.
But very good beer, very well done. I think to me it's a 4.5 now. Like if you would have told me, Gabe, what's your rating before tasting this beer?
3.75.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I would have been just pounding it and been like, oh man, I don't know what's going on. But now
Like,
that I've been
it's
able
okay,
to
but, yeah.
enjoy that, like to me it's a 4.5, knowing what they tried to do. To me, they hit it out of the park with everything.
Nice. Michelle, what do you think?
Yeah. I give it a 4.75. I mean,
Okay.
I really, really like this
Yeah,
beer.
it's good.
I love the flavors. I love the saltiness. And I really like this.
Yeah. So I thought I was going to be high, to be honest, because I was going to give it like around a 4.6. So like I could see the 4.75. I'll stick with the 4.5, but it was really surprising after we experienced the taste afterwards. Yeah, it's crazy.
We got educated.
Yeah.
It
So,
really changes the experience,
smarter.
doesn't it? Yeah, it
Being
changes
smart.
it.
Oh shit, my
Yeah.
hat's barely fitting, folks.
When we-
Your brain's getting bigger.
yeah. So when we bring a Goza, got it right there.
There you go.
To the
Good
table, like I would be like, oh man, 3.75, like not for me. And so I think in terms of like Goza, I think of fruited sours, and you kind of work your way up. And so so I'll say thanks for bringing this one,
Yeah.
because
Thank
I
you
would
very
have
much,
never
'cause it's
pulled this
very
one
good.
off the shelf. But now, when we hit up Coastal, like okay, let me get a splash of that, right? So, but in terms of rating, I think 4.5. Like after we discuss it and talk about the beer, like I think it goes a long way. So
100%. All right, so I know that you had mentioned your involvement with Pink Boots Society. Can you kind of tell us more about that, more about their mission, and kind of how we can support that in the future?
So Pink Boots is an international nonprofit organization that supports women in the brewing and fermented beverage industry. So at one point it was just all about women brewers. It's actually women and non-binary. So I misspoke there. And so Pink Boots has expanded its mission to include women and non-binary individuals in all aspects of the alcoholic beverage industry, from winemakers, distillers, meaderies, as well as beer. And so, it's meant to help grow women in those industries through education.
Mm.
And so I mentioned that I was able to receive a scholarship from Pink Boots Society to get my level 1, Cicerone certified beer server. So there are, like I said, there's chapters all over the world. I am the chapter leader for the Hampton Roads chapter.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
It's been really fun. I've been a member for 3 years now. We've grown our membership to 45 members.
Oh, cool.
And we're still working on it and growing it as much as we possibly can. We hold monthly educational meetings and networking opportunities. So even if you're not a member, you can still come to your first meeting for free. So we encourage all kinds of women to come. And so last month we did a beer and candy pairing for Valentine's Day with Ale Works' Bitter Valentine.
Oh, cool. Yep,
which is like a cult favorite. Everybody loves that. And
Yep.
so we did a candy pairing with that, which was super fun. And so this month we are going to do, we have a certified beer judge in our membership. And so she is going to take us through the process of truly judging a beer, as beers are judged in homebrew competitions and,
Okay.
In beer festivals, Great American Beer Festival and those
That's
kinds of
awesome.
things of how beers are judged.
Super
So
cool.
she's going to teach us about that. So you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Pink Boots Society 757HR.
Okay.
So we're really growing our chapter, and I'm really proud of our chapter. We are doing some really good things. We're there to support each other, for networking, and to just really lift each other up as women in this industry. As in this it's a very male dominated
Yeah.
dominated industry, as I said. Right? Sometimes
Right.
people just think that girls don't know anything about beer, but we do.
Yep.
We know a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, appreciate you
No,
sharing
that's,
that.
that's,
That's awesome.
awesome.
So yeah, I love it. I'm very passionate about it. Yeah. So
Well.
it's been really fun.
And so you brought a brew from
I did. So every year at Great American Beer Festival, the women from Pink Boots Society get together, and a hop blend is created. They do all the hop rubbing and the sniffing of the hops, and this blend is created every year that Yakima Hops puts out there and sells for breweries to so you can participate in what we call Collaboration Brew Day. So that's our biggest fundraiser that helps us provide scholarships for to go to brewing school, to go to trips to Germany, to hop farms, hop farms in Oregon, or just even to learn about wine or distilling, to kind of expand, the repertoire. So what I brought is this amazing beer called Her. It's from Big Ugly Brewing Company, and it's a West Coast IPA. And it's a nod to one of the owners, Erin, who also owns Pretty Ugly Distribution. She's a badass woman in our industry. And so Pretty Ugly does craft beer distribution throughout the state, throughout Virginia, and through down into the Outer Banks. And she's the owner. And so I guess the name came about at one point because somebody said, I always see her stuff is everywhere. Her, it's all about her. So it's a nod to not only Erin, but to all of the women in this industry. So, it's a West Coast IPA. And so the hops that are in it are Crush, Simcoe, Mosaic, and Chinook.
Okay.
Those are the 4 hops that are in here, and so they have very different hop characteristics to them. And so it was also brewed with a well, I won't tell you yet what kind of malt is in there. We'll see if you can pull it out. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you.
This label is super cool. Yeah, I like the little van going around the globe.
Right? Yeah,
super cool.
that's her distribution. Right? She started in her minivan. Distributing the beer out of her.
That's going to end up on the fridge here later on.
Yeah. It's a super
really
cool
like
label, and then it has the Pink Boots logo on there as well for
awesome.
Brew Day. And so several of us went to Big Ugly Brewing Company down in Chesapeake, and we get to help pour in the hops or stir. Stir things up and just kind of help with the process,
Right.
kind of thing. So it's about a celebration of women in the industry is really what it's all about.
That's cool.
And so they made I'm a West Coast IPA girl, so this is my favorite.
Right.
And they did an amazing job. Right. So just kind of go through your process.
Our noses are probably smoke from all the
Yeah, I'm telling you.
jet fuel,
Yeah.
jet exhaust.
I
all that
love me some jet exhaust.
Yeah. So it's just burned down. We can't smell from this.
Yeah. Probably killed your nose and your ears.
Even on that drive by, it's pretty subtle.
Yeah.
There's some pine in there.
I forgot the covered
Yeah.
covered
Dude,
wagon.
the covered is the most important one. Yeah,
The
it
covered
really is.
wagon.
Or to do it and do it counterclockwise, right?
For me, I feel like I'm getting more of the malt than any hops. I don't know why.
Okay, what kind of malt are you getting in there? Do you get a certain flavor
I
in
don't
there?
know any kind of other malt besides
Think
malt.
of different kinds of bread.
different kinds of bread. Go.
Is that just,
I got another.
I just
Rye?
I revert to
Is that kind of one?
Channing Tatum going, my name's Jeff.
I feel like, I feel so dumb.
Like,
when
it's
I do
crazy.
it.
Like, this one
I
is
can-
very, like, to me, the nose on this one is less than the Kolsch. Like, I don't,
I
like, I
agree.
really,
Yeah.
I really thought it was going to be, like, a lot different. Piney, very, like, West
resiny,
Coast
yeah.
resiny. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not getting that on the nose, so let's
Okay.
see.
All right. See what happens when you taste it.
It is dank.
That's a good descriptor for a Westie.
No, very dry.
Mm-hmm.
So, like dry on the top of the tongue, like when you like it's and it has a very lasting taste. Like after you swallow it, it sticks around for a bit.
Yep.
Which
Yep, it
is
lingers.
pretty common with Westies too,
Mhm.
from my experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
some
absolutely.
Resin
It is.
is what I get.
That resiny flavor. Mm-hmm.
It's got some bitterness to it also.
Oh yeah.
Lots
Yeah,
of
for sure.
Yeah, lots of bitterness to me.
For sure. Yeah, you'll definitely get the bitterness from the hops. From the crush and the Simcoe.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Those are true. Well, the Simcoe's true Westie. Very,
Yeah.
very much so.
The Chinook also using a lot of
Mhm.
West Coast.
Yeah,
I heard
for
that
sure.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that resiny,
Um,
piney, but there's
What was the malt that you were mentioning?
it's a rye malt.
Was it right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
2 stars.
Yeah, you guessed
Aaron knows two breads,
it.
white and rye, and he said rye.
There's wheat.
He's like
Pumpernickel.
sourdough.
Yeah, there's
I'm
a
just
rye
kidding,
malt
Aaron.
that
I'm
got
from
added in.
I'm from Amish County.
I
Like, they
know.
make a lot of breads. All right.
You're a nerd.
That's right. Yeah, we're Pennsylvanians, right? Yeah, we get that. No, and there should be a little bit of stone fruit in there as well.
Missed
That
that.
damn stone fruit.
It
man.
drove right by. Like
yeah,
I didn't get
don't.
any of that.
I don't get a ton of
I'm
it.
getting resin and I'm getting that little dank bitterness.
dank,
and I'm getting just that malt.
Yep.
for me.
Okay. Yeah. Just that maltiness, and so I mean, of course, there's malt in every beer, right? And
Yeah.
so the maltiness sort of gives it just like a nice backbone,
Mhm.
right? And kind of helps to smooth it out just a little bit.
Episode 10, it's just going to be a bunch of food and grains, and we're just going to eat it.
I could just see like
That
the
doesn't even
food,
sound like fun.
like the food pyramid,
Yeah.
but like it's going to be the beer
The
pyramid.
beer
Because,
pyramid,
like,
yeah.
When you
It'd
say
be
it, you're like, oh yeah,
malts,
it kind of.
hops, stone fruit at the top.
Yeah.
with a question mark next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's like
Yeah.
you describe it, and you're like, okay, I can agree with that, but like it's also like, when's the last time I actually tasted just that? Like
Yeah.
it's in everything you eat, but like it's just hard to pick out barley versus rye.
So we split a Westie.
Mm-hmm.
I won't name it before this,
Mhm.
right? But I feel like this has more flavor than that one did.
You're tasting it the right way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
But even then, like I feel like this is more complex
Mhm.
than the other one.
You just drank the other one. You didn't taste the other one. You got to hear.
You gotta hear.
You gotta hear it. you gotta listen.
Yeah. No, I mean,
You gotta listen to it.
makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But
It's amazing.
You listen to
I love it.
That's
Do
right.
you-
I do this
gotta-
every time now.
Or I might have that backwards, but
What are you gonna rate this one?
Okay.
with
You
the
didn't
beer,
even cleanse
with
his
the
palate.
with the
You didn't
beer,
cleanse his palate.
beer in your mouth.
You lose a star.
So for me, I don't know if it tasted like a West Coast IPA for me exactly. Like the process of describing it and understanding what was put into it, like I get that. For me, I only got the malt, and I got like a little bit of leathery kind of malt in there.
Okay.
I didn't get a lot of hops. I was expecting hops.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give it a 4.
I like it.
I do too.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy because like you said before, everybody's palate's different, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think the crazy part is what you described. When it comes to me, it's not. We're not
So-
like it's crazy.
So when I drink a Westie, I want to taste like I'm, eating pine cones,
Green pine cones.
Yeah, and I love that about that, right? But I don't know. There's a lot going on with this one, so I'm gonna go 4 or 5.
Okay. Yeah. So to me, like, I definitely get a lot of resiny flavors to it. I get piney, like the piney's part of the on the back end of the taste, the flavor profile. Lots of dryness towards the end as well. Like traditional, like when I first started drinking IPAs, I don't know if I had good luck, bad luck, whatever. Like I just happened to pick out Westies, and I was like, I freaking hate IPAs. Like I fucking hate IPAs, right? Because it tasted like, to me, it tasted like I was like, I just told Mike, like green pine cones. Like you just like, they taste like green pine cones smell, right?
Bitter beer face.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, that old guy with his lip over his nose. But, you know, like I've become to like them.
Yeah.
And this one is very, very good. It's very light, I think. And, you know, it's not overpowering. Like some of them have like a ton of pine. Like it just smokes your taste buds. This one does not do that. But I think it's a 4.25 for me all day long. Like we've had some really good Westies in the last month, and it's right up there. So I think this is very good.
Fair, yeah. Michelle, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's very true to style. I like the piney resonance flavor in there, and I do get a little bit of the malt, rye malt backbone, and I really like it. So I'm gonna definitely give it a 4 or 5.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
It was
Really
unique for me. Yeah, it was a unique Westie. Like I was surprised.
Yeah.
We got to be careful because
You gotta wonder.
you know, while Michelle's here, you know, we can taste beers. But what happens next week when we revert back to just drinking beers?
To the head.
Michelle,
we're all gonna be like, wait. You skipped step 3.
You didn't do the drive-by.
Yeah.
You didn't do the long snip.
But I think there's some of this, like once we get to do it, we can do it very fast and very educated. You know what I mean? And we can, to me, all this does is open us up for better beers. Like some beers that we might have thought were mediocre. Like I'm going to be 100%. The Goza 100%. I don't know if I would have enjoyed that beer as much without Michelle educating us.
I would have never pulled it off the shelf.
No,
right? But now,
no, it's intriguing.
Yeah, or even like when we go visit places, you know, maybe now I don't get a flight of IPAs.
Yeah,
you know, maybe
mix them in. You know what I mean? Like,
you
might even get a barrel aged freaking stout on it.
Oh, I promise you, I'll likely 99% not get a barrel.
Say never. Never say never.
I will never say never, but the chances of that are highly unlikely.
So really what we're asking is, can you come to every episode?
keep us on the tracks.
Keep you on track.
Wow. Okay.
This fun.
Has been a phenomenal episode.
Yeah.
This is the
so
reason
good.
why we wanted to kind of do this. Like
so
it's awesome. Thank you so much for coming and taking the time out of your day to come and educate us and our audience. It's amazing.
Lots of fun. Lots of like mind opening
Good.
experience.
That makes me happy.
Like education. Like
we will try our best
we were
to
such
follow the
Neanderthals.
process.
We were such Neanderthals drinking beer.
No.
Well,
no, you just know what you like.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
everyone starts there, you know.
Right,
It's
and
like
we all have to start somewhere.
Most of them don't drink $8 to $10 to $12 to $15 beers, though. Let's be real.
Oh,
We do that.
You like what you like.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again. I
Thank
appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
No, thank
Awesome.
you guys. It was
Awesome,
really
awesome.
fun. Yeah, thank you so much.
We'll invite you back, and we'll make you proud next time, and we'll show our how smart we are.
Can't wait. Very cool. Yeah, very cool.
All right, here's another look at the banger board real quick with just today's brews. Remember to check us out on Untapped on Instagram. If you want to be on the show, let us know. And as always, everybody, you know how it goes.
Life's too short to drink
bad
shitty
beer.
beers.
Cheers.
Adios. Have a good one.
There you
Bye.
go.